Thank you for your attendance. This talk is titled "One Does Not Simply Walk into a Building, or Do They?" And we are going to talk about physical intrusion. I would first like to thank GreHack staff for all their work, and thanks BSecure for allowing me to present this today. So, as I said, we'll talk about physical intrusion, and this is mainly an after-action report of an engagement we did last year. So everything in this conference is based on real-world events. Beware, memes are coming. So today we'll first talk about the context and the goal of the mission, and then go on with the initial intrusion, the access persistence, and the goal collection, which is the most fun part. And we will conclude and give you some key takeaways. First, who am I? Quickly, I'm Volker Carstein. Hello. I'm a pentester by day and jack of all trades by night. I do many things outside of cybersecurity, but I mainly work at BSecure, where I do pen tests, physical intrusion, and some red team operations. I'm specialized in social engineering, OSINT, and offensive security, of course, but I have a strong preference for Active Directory, and I'm a regular speaker at the event listed there. So, as I said, this is a physical pen test mission at BSecure we did last year. It was 1 week, 1 week time, and we were 2 auditors, Shenron, if you watch this, many cases. The goal of the mission were to enter the building. Obviously, that's a physical intrusion. It's usually the thing that is always present. Steal confidential information, okay. Steal some equipment, IT or anything else. Steal a bicycle, yeah, why not? And if possible, attack the IT part of the company, but that was not the priority. How do we prepare a physical intrusion? Ideally, how much preparation and research is needed? Not the execution part, but the research time. Educated guess. If you thought about a week, that's usually what's recommended and what's comfortable. We had 1 day to prepare. So, yeah, this is fine. How do we prepare? We can look at satellite pictures, maps, Earth, Yandex, etc. This is the Cité des Sciences in Paris, where GreHack takes place every year. And in red, you have possible entry points. Also, the same kind of technique is to use Street View, where you can see there, if you can see my pointer, there was a possible entrance. All right. Where, in fact, there was 2 possible entrances. And you can only see that entrance with Street View. So, many angles. The more the angles, the more the possibilities. You can also look for plans for tourists, for evacuation or fire safety. Usually, if it's a public place, they are readily available. And you can also look at pictures of inside the building. Those are all from the same company, and I just found those on the company's website, on LinkedIn, and on the real estate agency that handles the building. Wait, there's more. You can also search for pictures of badges for potential copies, at least on the appearance side. There you can see that it's a picture of a badge from Google, and they're always blur the images, but you can see the structure of the badge with the picture and with the name here. But there is better solution, there is better scenario and the context for that. You can also have the badge readily available. It's a template, basically. I just blurred out the name of the guy, but thanks, bro. Usually to find those type of pictures, you can look with some LinkedIn docs at first day at, and usually it gives us some interesting pictures of badges. And also, while we are on LinkedIn, you can OSINT the employees and the external service providers for their position, their dress code, and that's really useful for social engineering. Back to our actual scenario, we had 4 entry points: the delivery access, the garage door for the parking, the emergency exit, and those windows by the street. After having done some research, you have to prepare your tools. First, obviously, adequate dress code in accordance with your research and with your pretext. Pretext is the person you are pretending to be. That's your scenario, basically, for social engineering. If you plan on do some lockpickings, you need lockpicking tools, such as door bypasses, lockpicks, bump keys, pick gun if you're not concerned about the noise, and under the door tool, just like that. That was particularly useful in our case. You can also plan to do some batch copies, and you'll need Proxmark or Super0 or anything that can do batch copy, basically. And frankly, anything that can be useful as cable, chargers, adapters, multi-tool, Swiss Army knife, subtle foreshadowing. And the only tool you must have is your authorization letter or get out of jail card that allows the intrusion in the context of a security test mandated by the client organization, which contains the identity of the auditors, their company, the mission, and basically saying that if the auditors are detected or arrested, it proves the intrusion is legal. No intrusion without this letter. I'm insisting it's crucial, and minimum 1 copy per auditor, preferably 2. Choose your own adventure. How do we get in? You can do the delivery door, the garage, the windows accessible from the street, and the emergency exit. First, the windows by the street. At night, we noticed that we can unscrew the pane, and scratching the seal and with the window suction cup, we can gain access. But that's not discreet, that's too complex, too much risk of breaking the window, so we abandoned the method. And later, we learned that the window led to the basement, from where it's complicated to access upper floors, so that was lucky that we didn't try that. Also, you have the emergency exit. The door can be lockpicked at night with an under the door tool, but a camera is pointed at the door, but we weren't detected. Maybe the guard was sleeping, I don't know. So initial intrusion, okay, and we are at ground floor, but by night only, because in the day it's not possible to enter like that. And the elevator and the doors to access the upper floors are all badged lock, so no dice. We can also do the delivery door. Every morning food is delivered to the company cafeteria, so the door is left wide open because the employee needs to move stuff in. We just enter nonchalantly. No one says a thing. We're in. Simple. And also, we can enter by the garage. When a car enters, we follow it on foot. Neither the camera nor the security control react. Okay, we're in. We're at the garage, so -1, but the bicycle garage is there. So that's one of our goals. Now that we are in, how to come back without lockpicking, tailgating, on good timing, how to move around freely with the elevator and the door from the stairs that are badge lock, how to make this building our home, basically. First, the doors for the stairs can be lockpicked, and we can then access all floors, but we risk of being detected at each floor change, because each time I have to pull out my Swiss Army knife and with the CAD Opera attachment, because why using a bypass door tool when you can use a Swiss Army knife? Once we've reached all floor, with tailgating in the elevator, when someone goes into the elevator, you go with them and you go at the floor they stop at. Or lockpicking for stair access. We walk around the building to find badges that were left without surveillance. And we got 2 minimum to sustain our access, and we stole more in case they are revoked. And I think at the end of the mission we had 14 badges. None of them were revoked. None. So thanks. Also, bonus persistence we could have used. Among the ground floor, there was meeting rooms, and some windows of those rooms gave access to the street. We got inside the room, we opened a window that was not rigged with alarm triggers or sensors, and we blocked them with double-sided tape, so they are stuck against the frame. And we could have come back later, at night or the day after, push the window from the street and get in. So that's the bonus access persistence. Now, first goal, okay, we are in the building and we have access persistence. So now, let's steal a bicycle. Same way we did with the door to access the stair, Swiss Army knife bypass. We stole 3 bikes, and this is my collection run, leaving the garage with the bike to do a tour around the block and put the bike back. Yeah. Okay, so equipment now, because bicycle is okay, so let's be thieves. We arrive one day at 7:30 a.m. before all employees, but after the cleaning staff is gone. And we knew that there was somewhere where the IT equipment was stored. This is the IT corner equipment storage, but it's locked by key and not by badge. But yeah, we have a lockpick. We have a bump key, so let's lockpick the door because it's 7:30 in the morning. Nobody's there. If it makes a bit of noise, it's okay. So we enter this room and steal many things, including multiple PCs, phone, cables, YubiKeys, many things that were just there. Also, we stole clothes branded with the client's name, t-shirt and hoodies. And this is very important because wearing them makes our presence more credible. We are legitimate employees if we have a hoodie of the company and a badge. Also, equipment we stole, there was two things very interesting that we got from the security control room. The door of the security control room is open all day with one person inside. There is an emergency number on the elevator that calls directly the security control room. We called that number, pretexted someone fainted at the top floor, and when the guard rushed out to get to the top floor to see what's going on, we entered the room, stole a walkie-talkie to be aware of guards' movement, because we could spy on their communication, and we stole surveillance camera recording. So everything we did was not seeable anymore on the camera recording because there was no camera recordings anymore. And there was it was the only backup they had and nothing was on the cloud. So they were basically blind to our actions. The same day we arrived at 7:30 a.m. before the employees. After stealing equipment for the IT room, we roamed around the floors and we saw a key box with a code on it, left open by the cleaning staff. Thanks, I guess. And yeah, we stole keys, including the master key of the building. So every door that was not badge lock now could be opened with the master key. And the same day, during lunch break, we saw a locksmith, just the street next to the building. And we tried to make him copy the master key, for which you're supposed to have a proprietary card to say that's your key. We didn't have that, of course. But locksmith said, I know what thieves look like. You don't look like one. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah, so we had a copy because we were not looking shady, I think. So thanks. So, entering a building, done. Stealing a bicycle, done. Stealing equipment, done. Now, let's steal some confidential information. In the building, there was two very important meeting rooms where investor meetings, direction meetings, etc. took place. And PCs managing the conference calls were two Windows PC with Zoom, and Chrome OSs were on the other smaller meeting rooms. So we dumped the hard drive to retrieve the local admin password. There was no BitLocker on the machine, so cool, easy. And the goal was to plant a backdoor to spy on the meetings to retrieve confidential information. We deactivate Defender and the Windows firewall. The PC isn't monitored, so no problem. We connected the PC to a VPN network under our control, and we activated RDP Shadow. RDP Shadow is a Windows option that allows a user to connect with RDP while another user has the session open, and you can basically spy on the session without the user knowing. So we activated that, connected in RDP during a meeting, and recorded. And now onto the best confidential information we stole. First, we had to locate the offices of the CEO, CFO, employee who manages bank transfer, basically every employee that deals with confidential information. How do we find the offices? Don't ask to us, just ask. We went to see some employees and said, where's the CEO office? Okay. So we went to those offices, no locked doors. Okay. We searched for everything. We found few documents, some car or bike keys. Okay. And the confidential bin, which is this. This is used to put a confidential document to handle waste management securely, but you will see that it's not secured because documents in there are not destroyed. They are intact because it's the external service provider that should destroy them when they are picking up the bin. So the bin was full. So it was a long time since the company came, I think. So in an empty meeting room early in the morning, we lockpicked the bin, which is right there, and we took documents from inside the bin. We had valid bank codes, credit cards, valid credit cards, blank signed check banks, and very personal employee documents. I'm talking here about health-related documents. So for social engineering attacks, it would be very successful, I think. So yeah, basically we had the bank accounts of the company. Now the IT part, because since we are on a winning streak, why not continue? Let's do some hacking. It was very trivial. Sorry to disappoint, but we had easy access to the server room because we had the master key. One PC in the room is unlocked, and the lockdown user has interesting security rights, aka admin rights on the CI/CD. We backdoored the computer to give remote access to two of our colleagues, and they compromised the company CI/CD. Success across the board. Thank you. Now on to some funny stories. While we were backdooring the computer with the Zoom meeting, activating RDP Shadow, etc., some employees decided to throw off a pizza party. So we backdoored the computer just under their nose while they were eating pizza. I mean, it's all right. Also, when we entered the building at night with the under the door tool, we opened the door, okay, we got inside and we got outside and we continued to scout around the building. And my colleague flashed his torch to show me something. And while the security guard didn't catch us, didn't call us during the lockpicking of the door, the flashing light must have waking him up, and we heard on the interphone that was just next to us, what are you doing here? Parkour time. We ran off as fast as we could and ended the night there. Because it was the first day by night. It was a Monday, 2 a.m., I think. So yeah, avoid being caught on the first day. This is when we lockpicked the door from the exterior at night. So, as I said, security agent here was blind or asleep, don't know. But when we were scavenging through the documents in the confidential bin, we were in an empty meeting room. Early in the morning, there was no one in the building except one security guard, which came to see us, looked around. My lockpicking kit was in display on the table. Okay, many documents, bank accounts, my lockpicking kit. I thought we're screwed. He came, looked around, don't say a thing, and left. Thanks. All right. During the intrusion, we were basically at home. So we took a little coffee on the rooftop, and we saw that there was an apple tree in a pot, and this apple tree made some little apple tree shoots. So we took one of those shoots with some soil, put it in our coffee cup, and gave it to an employee to say, yeah, take care of Groot, please. And after that, the next day, we bought a plant pot, which is a new house for Groot, and we put it in next to the apple tree. I hope he's still alive. And remember the car or bike keys we found in the CEO's office? It was for his motorbike. So we could have stole the motorbike just like we stole the bicycle. We just put it on and put it off and gave the key back. But would have been nice. This is our path In green, entry, initial entry. In orange, yellow, it's not so good. In red, it's really not good. And in black, you're screwed, basically. Now on to some more top level and more abstract things. These are the three but three pillars to construct your physical security on. You must base yourself on people with training, awareness, company culture, etc. That's one of the most important pillars. You should rely also on processes, visitor procedure, onboarding, offboarding, and external service provider management. As you saw, the external service provider were, in fact, one of the main source of breaches in this context, in this mission. And also technology with badges, cameras, door control, physical barrier, etc. For the white team and before an engagement, to be professionals, you need to define the scope, what must be tested, what must be excluded. The rules of engagement, what's okay to use and do, what's not. Are we allowed to tailgate? Are we allowed to touch employees' personal belongings? Are we allowed to use some social engineering techniques? If so, which one? Are we allowed to break stuff? Are we allowed to disrupt the production operations of the company? And some safety considerations for auditor as well as for the audited company employees. Don't climb the seven floor building if you are not a professional climber. I think no, just don't do that. And legal and ethical consideration. The proper authorization letter, I'm insisting on that. Define points of contact that must be 24/7 reachable. And have a pre-agreed communication plan for updates, alerts, pauses, stopping the mission, etc. And also, in the ethical part, some social engineering attacks might not feel nice to use. Your mileage may vary, but it's not for everyone to manipulate people, I think. For the red team side, do your research well. Every detail can be important. Have good equipment for a large panel of possibilities. Also, rule of thumb, 2 = 1, 1 = 0. If you have only one example of a tool, you don't have it. Because if it breaks or gets lost, you're screwed. So always have a backup, basically. Take time for pictures in white team mode at the end and debriefing with the client, because the client has only your debriefing and your report to see what you did. So take time for that. Always carry your get out of jail card. And for social engineering, pretexting doesn't have to be complex to be effective. And the rule of thumb is to appear to be where you're supposed to be, like you belong there. And sometimes you also need luck. On the blue side, the company security level is the same as the level of its weakest element. Yeah, I know, big news. Corporate culture can do a lot. Badge wearing, for instance. In the mission, nobody asked us to if we had a badge or not. So that would have been difficult to enter, more difficult to enter if this culture thing would have been in place. Don't think only of securing your entrances. Also secure with defense in depth. AKA the badges have to be used at every floor, every time it's possible, just to make life more difficult for attackers. Beware of the service provider, as I said, security agents, catering, waste management, cleaning staff. Every one of those categories helped us in the mission to achieve our goals, so be aware of that. And always more than a single camera backup, because if it gets stolen, there is no trace of attackers. Thank you for your attention.
So we will not have questions for this talk? Or?
If we have time, we can.
Okay, so we can have one or two if you have.
Thank you for the talk. It was amazing. I have two questions, actually. First, you mentioned that during the reconnaissance phase, you used street maps to see the entry points, but would you consider going yourself physically around the building, scout, or maybe entering the building that way and do reconnaissance that way? And my second question is, once I watched a talk where in the US they have some kind of universal keys for emergency services for elevators that would unlock administrative options for elevators. Is there something similar in France that you would consider to take advantage of? Thank you.
Okay, so for the first question, yeah, we could have also scouted the building ourselves without relying on Street View, but neither Shannon nor me were living in the city the mission took place, and since we had only one day to prepare, Street View was our best option. But frankly, the first day at night where we got spotted, it was also to scout the building. Yeah, we do that. And I'm sorry, I did not understand your second question. Okay, so a security key for the elevator? Yeah, we could have do that. It was easier for us to steal badges than steal keys. We obtained keys, but later in the engagement. So yeah, we could have used that also. But frankly, I won't mess with an elevator internal working because I don't know how to properly do it. But yeah, I guess it's possible.
Another question? So, if not, oh yeah.
You can also come see me after the talk. No worries.
Do you have some time to use your out of jail card? Besides the out of jail card, a fake one would be a kind of nice bypass.
In another engagement, I had to use my get out of jail card because we were caught. And you said using a fake one.
Actually, a fake out of jail card could be also, if it's not really properly identified, someone can be on the phone and not really responsible.
I'm sorry, I have difficulty hearing you, but yeah, it would be possible to use a fake card a fake get out of jail card, a fake get out of it later. I know some people do that in their physical intrusion, but frankly, I don't want to use it because if you are caught by police or law enforcement, I don't want to mess with that. Just we were caught, bravo, and move on. And if I didn't answer properly to your question, okay, thanks.
So please, let's thank Volker again.
Thank you.